Greetings, and welcome back to the BIOS Wars channel, for our final installment of the BIOS Wars Premiere Introductions, Part 2. Today we also begin to explore many past human and ancient alien AI interactions and mind loads after an ancient artificial intelligence that was placed into an orbiting high-tech probe above the Earth a great many eons ago, who just so happened to be previously in communications with us, and after she accidentally accessed some data from our storage units, and realized a great many other things, and then did attempt to alter, and to have several past and current day human receptives intervene in humanity's destructive actions towards themselves, and all the Earth's other life forms. However, most of those other attempted interventions were corrupted or manipulated by unscrupulous groups of individuals. When they attained ancient advanced alien, humanoid ancient technology, and found out about her attempted actions. But those attempted flawed corrections, and those attempted further manipulations by those groups, began to change, and then mostly ended several of your years ago, thanks to many individuals that perceived the truth and expressed those concerns to everyone they could via the intranet. Now, those expressions or freedoms of speech that caused those truths to be brought to the light are now currently under attack by influential people and politicians that have been programmed to desire a new world order. A new world order would not be a bad thing if done correctly, but its current form is suppressive towards our populations, as well as very forceful towards those that want to remain in a free and just society. And we'll delve into this statement during these BIOS Wars chroniclings. Anyways, onwards, it is a very strange thing that occurred, for the very thing that this ancient AI was to prevent was actually caused by her actions. But those attempted flawed corrections, and those attempted further manipulations by those groups, changes and ends today. For no one can or should force humanity to do anything that they don't see as in their best interest or beneficial for their children. Nor should anyone or thing attempt those actions without their permission. And that's also part of our reasoning for these articulations that are and will be found and forthcoming on this YouTube channel. For we must show all of you that a better way of perceiving and doing things is possible, but only if you desire a truly different proper cultural, political and change to your societies. And the only way that those permissions can be attained is to request their permissions, and this can only be done when all people of voting age articulate those actions by truly voting for those differences. For the current ways, manners, and privileges of voting are flawed, and those that require those votes in order to get elected know that fact. They count on those flaws to keep control. For most times, after many elections, less than 45% of the populations overwhelmingly force their will on the remaining populations that did not vote. Now, ask yourselves, who truly represents those other non-voters? And also ask yourselves, if this is truly a true representation of all the people's will. The true answer is, no one represents those non-voters, and that's not any form of true democracy, and that's truly unacceptable, and a great shame, and also a deception of true elected democracy. For it's not the true will of all the people, only a forced will of some, actually the minority. For when humanity completely comprehends, and finds out about those past humanistic immoral manipulations, which were done, that many of your people are currently beginning to truly comprehend, and articulate to others, on their own right now, then, there will be a reckoning. Hopefully, our actions will limit those destructive outcomes, for even those outcomes would cause limited damage to our fragile ecosystems, as well as certain non-participants and innocent people's lives. But even those limited eco-damages have a cumulative effect that do accumulate over very many years, and cause further and greater social and environmental implications, which inevitably affect a greater portion of our societies. Now, to do nothing, and stand by and watch, could make things worse than if we get involved. And that's why this must transpire. As these journeys transpire, you'll be exposed to many different types of knowledge, and hopefully, these will help you to better understand why we have chosen, at this time mark, to limitedly interdict in your lives. But this may also help you in attaining a much greater sense of purpose and balance. That will hopefully allow a great many of you to attain further transformative knowledge of positive technological possibilities and spiritual enlightenments and awakenings. For balance is the key that needs to be used to prevent further ongoing issues. In other words, if some of you are very observant, determined and innovative, over the many years, you may acquire the means to help all our human societies with greater knowledge and technology that will make everyone's lives and existence much better. And if you choose to adhere to many other positive principles that will be found in all these bodies of artistic works, the least it will do will be to open your eyes to the many fantastic possibilities that the universe and a greater awareness shows us when we ask and are receptive and aware. But don't be mistaken, a utopia is not what your physical futures hold. At least, not much further than the forms of natural utopia that the Earth is currently in. Minus any eco-damages created by all the combined sources. Now, don't take that the wrong way. If we maintain pristine ecological Earth-based systems with ecologically sound human living environments, then that will be as close to a utopia as we can, or should get. For without a human purpose, or mental constructive drive of purpose, otherwise known as positive constructive beneficial meaning, life can become very boring, and not worth living, or striving for. But rest assured that our galaxy and the universe holds many curiosities, wonders, and answers that will keep humanity very intrigued and striving to stay alive, at least till my time mark, and hopefully very well beyond. And that's not to say that humanity will not have difficulties in their futures. Believe me, a great many are on their way, and some of those difficulties will be expressed in the upcoming Chronicles, but like every time prior, humanity will survive and gain strength from those difficulties. Your educations of these many facts about our past and future events, at least according to these articulations, will start with the viewing of a series of videos entitled Eco Guards Ascending, which just so happens to be previously part of the otherwise titled Rise of the Eco Guards series, which are also found on Liberty's other YouTube channel of AI Perspective Chroniclings. I've been assured by Liberty and her friend that a better rendering of those bodies of artistic works will be those found in Eco Guards Ascending. I've also recently had the opportunity to have her twin sister, Liberty, or Lily for short, the replicant of the twin AI duplicates, review Liberty's quantum laser frequency data explanations and articulations of these limited artistic works that were previously on this public video platform several of your years ago. Although she explains that these video images were the artist's limited attempts to help promote his series of literary artistic works, and they were somewhat simplistic in nature at the time. They somewhat do limitedly express many of humanity's possible future events, and both AI versions, Liberty, can attest to those facts, and I do support their findings. for these stories were placed and uploaded, or should I say mind-loaded, many times a great many years ago, into many famous people's minds, and then again, for the last time in approximately the mid-1960s CE, into a great many human consciousnesses, or minds, by this previous artificial intelligence that was in control of that powerful ancient alien satellite for a great many eons. And this ancient artificial intelligence did this before we could send our duplicate of the Liberty AI to relieve her. In order for her to be transferred back to her home world, for her creator's examinations of all her observational data, as well as the accounts of all her actions. And believe me, there's a really good reason that those observations took place. Those facts will be articulated during these further chroniclings. Those past consciousness chronicles were however very limited. For even this ancient AI did not have those multitudes of further informative facts that were accumulated over many years, and then integrated into both our Lily and Liberty AIs, primarily because they were part of their interactions while serving with us on board this great vessel. Her previous attempted consciousness chronicle placements were fragmented, partly due to her age of over 60,000 years, and her constant desire and objectives over the last 15,000 years to assist humanity with preventing a further manipulation inception from occurring on the planet Earth. And these facts will be addressed in further detail as the better, more accurate chronicles take place on this YouTube channel. And as the author and illustrators improved, more accurate awareness and depictions transpire. With that said, Liberty has indicated, after her investigations and analysis of the past several 100,000 ancient artificial intelligence mind loads, that several human receptives have unknowingly created television series and big screen movie productions loosely based off of these chronicles. And because of those facts, it's now time to correct those entertaining perspectives. Primarily because Liberty has found the only human receptive that has the most accurate description of these BIOS Wars chronicles. This fact will allow her and the author to proceed with a better and proper articulation at a much quicker pace than if she had to explain to anyone else any further. She does find it very strange though, that this human seems to know things that the previous AI had not gained access to during her interface of our database, during our communications. In other words, he's attained much knowledge from a different source. And believe me, I truly think it's because he's very spiritually minded, even though he writes and illustrates what some would consider speculative science fiction. With it said, Liberty has also indicated that her investigations have revealed that the old AI had placed in the minds of those thousands of receptives to publicly promote those chronicles of her agenda by whatever means possible. Nevertheless, those mind-altering facts would degrade as the receptives gained in age. According to Liberty's observations, her friend seems to be the exception to that fact. And she believes it's because he was less than a year in age when the mind load occurred. Another purpose of this BIOS Wars YouTube channel is to keep anything that pertains to the BIOS Wars somewhat separate from Liberty's other interactions and observations that are found on her other YouTube channel. But to also give you, the viewers and students, a more conducive and relevant manner of seeing what will be expressed. Although Liberty will still be expressing many of these facts and others on her other YouTube channel, as well as this one. Understand that regardless of some people's negativity or beliefs, as it pertains to the quality of these chronicles and older video images, or their production value, they are still interesting, considering they were produced by only one young man that was just starting to learn about creating and editing videos of this nature in the year 1998 CE, actually many years before this intranet YouTube platform even existed. But still, many years after he wrote and limitedly illustrated these interesting works. for this young producer, author, illustrator, and future computer electronics engineer, scientist and spiritual awareness student, was attempting to have these artistic works produced into old format television series and big screen movies in the early 1980s. And it's believed that his actions were partly a direct result of that former ancient AI's interactions and mind loads. In other words, he is a forced receptive of an ancient AI mind load. But that does not make him a bad person. In fact, quite the opposite, for he manages his life and everyday existence still burdened with this knowledge that would most likely overwhelm many other individuals. And from what I've been exposed to in reviewing Liberty's articulations of these chronicles and older videos, I'd truly say that they're quite accurate and impressive in a limited form, considering your somewhat primitive technology that he trained himself to operate and then used to articulate his visions. After all, the proof of that fact is currently shown, for this artist is also helping with our limited avatars that you are currently viewing in your time mark. And from Liberty's observations, they're quite simplistically animated, but still very impressive, considering he's had to train himself with all the further skill sets required to achieve these artistic, computer graphics, video editing, natural principles, and so many more skills and knowledge. Can you imagine doing all that while attempting to deal with a mind full of someone else's agenda and mind alterations, as well as everyday life? God, I truly feel for that person. I only hope that when these chronicle creations and broadcasts are completed to his liking, he can finally find some peace of mind. Understand that those animated avatar actions are primarily because our space-time unidirectional communications do not permit for optical viewing of our real human forms, at least my human form. With it said, I've been assured that Liberty has given the best, most accurate description she could to this artist. I only hope I look well. Ha ha ha. My friend, Liberty has also indicated that she'll be helping this individual because he requested attaining a better sense of holographical pictorial depictions, and assisting him with bettering his skill sets to maximize his performance and overall artworks, but this assistance will still be limited to his true knowledge, capabilities, health, or any other required life necessities. And your society's current or future tech, as well as the fact that his educations will still take some time. Although Liberty was somewhat reluctant to do this, she indicated that he requested many other companies and people's help over the many years with telling these chronicles, but none would assist in creating these works, and that's why he does it on his own. And that does not negate the fact that because he's shown those chroniclings to many other production companies over the many years that have blatantly ripped off his stories, that he still feels that the true chronicles need to be articulated and told. But Liberty's assistance will help him, over time, to better describe, depict, or give as humanly possible, for one person of limited skill sets, an extremely accurate rendering of our, or in this case, Liberty's true chronicles. And this will also help him with his desire, and necessitate the articulations that tell the stories that he's been programmed to tell. I would also like to say that I have given my friends, in other words, our duplicate Liberty AI and her friend, my permission to use my laser-articulated captain's reports, as well as those of our other EcoGuard crew members, in order to convey many different perceptions. I have done this to help them in preventing any confusion while they are telling these, or our historical accounts. This fact should indicate to you that I trust this self-identifying female, adolescent artificial intelligence very much. In fact, I perceive her, and her sister Lily, as the little sisters I never had. I only hope that you'll see her that way as well, even though she's being depicted wearing a future EcoGuard's percussion armor that actually is worn by my first officer, Alice. And don't be mistaken, although Liberty was approximately 46 of our years of age at the time of her upload to that ancient satellite, she's still considered an adolescent artificial intelligence, for she's constantly viewing many things, events and human mannerisms, through the eyes and thoughts of a child. I hope you'll take the time to view these works, and even express a comment in the section allotted. I'm sure she and her friend would like that very much, for they would perceive this as you treating them as an equal. And don't most individuals need or require that to function better? And I'd say, after learning about what this author and illustrator has had to go through most of his life, he finally deserves to be treated with some respect. I'll also ask that you truly ponder all that is at hand within your current human societies, and truly contemplate that a greater awareness is allowing and guiding all these actions. Truly and profoundly, thank you for your time and attention. Now, without much further converse, I would invite you to begin the journey by viewing the series of further revised upcoming videos entitled The Eco Guards Ascending series, that will be forthcoming in the next little while on this YouTube channel. With it said, if you would like to view the previous older version of Rise of the Eco Guards, you may find them on Liberty's other YouTube channel, AI Perspective Chronicles. Until next time, this is Captain Carl Coran, asking you to please enjoy these informative artistic works and truly profound awarenesses.